as you can see, I have a new terminal. So I'll paste that and check. As you can see, this returns Python 3.9.2. That means I was able to install Python 3.9.2 for my machine. If this wasn't installed, go ahead and install it. Now I'm going to check that, and what we are going to do now is we are going to create a virtual environment. A brief recap: a virtual environment is where you install all your Python packages to isolate them from other packages in your system. That is to say, you might just create a little room where you're going to save everything about your application rather than saving it in your whole operating system. It makes it easy to manage and maybe to clean up. Now, for you to create a virtual environment, like, just to note, these commands are slightly different on Ubuntu or on Linux, but I'm using Windows because a lot of people use Windows. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a virtual environment using this command. So let me paste that. Py is an invocation for Python, -3 is calling Python 3, and -m is calling a Python function called venv. And env now is the name of my virtual environment, which you can give it the name you want, but I'm just going to call it env. So once I click that, you're going to see that a folder here is going to be created. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter. As you can see, that folder has been created. That means this is where all my Python or all my Python packages are going to be installed. But now remember that you're on your operating system. Basically, you're using things that, or packages that are overall on your operating system. So now what you're going to do now is you have to tell your operating system that, okay, now I want to use only the packages from my environment or from my virtual environment. So what you have to go now ahead and do now is a step called activating your virtual environment. That means now everything I'm going to be doing now is going to be from my virtual environment. So to activate your virtual environment, you're going to use this command. This dot means I'm in this present directory. Env is the name of my virtual environment. Then now this script is calling for this folder, and lastly activate is calling for this script. This script now is going to say activate this virtual environment. I'm going to be using now this environment to store everything. Most often, if I click this, I'm going to have an error. Alright, let's read the error. If you have never done this or maybe run script on your Windows operating system, this is specific to Windows. On Ubuntu is a little bit straightforward. So if you've never gone ahead and run scripts on your operating system or your Windows operating system, this message is going to pop up. Let's read it. That cannot be loaded because running script is disabled on this system. Basically, Windows has disabled you or has stopped you from opening scripts from running scripts on your operating system. So what you're going to do now is you're going to explicitly tell Windows that no, I want to be able now to run scripts on my operating system. So now go ahead and type PowerShell on your. Alright, as you can see, I've typed PowerShell and I'm going to run PowerShell as an administrator. I go ahead and click yes, and now PowerShell is open. So to be able to tell your Windows operating system that you want to run scripts now, there is this command called set execution policies remote sign. I'm not going to go into details. In fact, I'm not going to explain that, but this is actually just saying that I want to be able to run scripts on my operating system. Alright, so I'm going to paste that, press enter. Okay, as you can see, execution policy change. Now what it's going to tell me is yes to all or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and press yes, and that's it. I've told Windows now that I want to be able to run scripts from my operating system. So now I'm going to close that, and now this command should run. So for me to do this, like there is nothing. If I press up, it's going to show me the recent commands that I executed. So I'm going to press enter. As you can see now, this worked, and you're going to see this green thing on your folder. This simply means that your virtual environment has been activated, and everything now you do, or every package you install now, is going to be installed here. Or let's say this is your virtual environment, remember, so everything you do now is going to be installed here, is going to be there. You're not using now packages from your system. You have an isolated space where you're going to be working on or working with.